High above the earth, in the thin air where the sky meets the stars, a tiny traveler beats its wings without pause. It weighs less than a chocolate bar, yet it will fly thousands of miles without food, water, or rest. Every year, billions of such winged voyagers set out on odysseys so vast, so perilous, that even the greatest human explorers might hesitate. These are the migrants of the skies, the feathered wanderers who redraw the maps of the natural world with every season. Consider the Arctic tern, a bird so slight it could perch on your hand, yet it accomplishes something no other creature dares. From the frozen edges of Greenland, it embarks on a staggering journey to Antarctica, chasing endless summers, only to return north again. Back and forth, year after year, across more than 70,000 kilometers. By the time it dies, this little tern may have traveled a distance equal to 3 trips to the moon and back. Humanity calls astronauts brave, but perhaps the tern was the first astronaut of the living world, touching both ends of the Earth in a single lifetime. But not all migrations are about distance. Some are about endurance. Picture the bar-tailed godwit lifting off from the mudflats of Alaska. With a single burst of determination, it launches on a non-stop flight across the vast Pacific Ocean. No island stopovers, no floating rest stops. 8 days in the air, fueled only by the fat stored under its skin. Its wings do not falter, its eyes do not close, and at last it touches down in New Zealand, 11,000 kilometers away. Scientists once refused to believe such a feat was even possible. Surely a bird could not endure it. Yet the godwit proved them wrong, rewriting biology textbooks with every flap of its wings. Not all journeys are triumphant. Some are brutal wars against the elements. In the Himalayas, bar-headed geese rise before dawn and soar into the jet streams, climbing to heights that leave mountaineers gasping for air. These birds cross the peaks of Everest itself, where oxygen is so thin that most mammals collapse within minutes. But the geese's blood is adapted, hemoglobin so efficient it can pull life out of air that to us would feel like suffocation. While climbers struggle upward with bottled oxygen and heavy coats, the geese carve invisible highways across the roof of the world, as if mocking human limits. And then there are the monarch butterflies, those fragile creatures that seem made of paper and sunlight. Each autumn they set off from the vast fields of Canada and the United States, drifting thousands of kilometers south toward the forests of Mexico. But here is the twist. The butterfly that begins the journey will never live to finish it. It will die along the way, leaving its children to carry on. Then its grandchildren, and sometimes even its great-grandchildren. Only the 4th generation arrives in Mexico, clustering by the millions in sacred groves where entire trees shiver with orange wings. How do they know the way when none of them have flown it before? It is as if the memory of the earth itself has been written into their genes. But migration is not just about survival. It is about timing, precision, and sometimes astonishing intelligence. The European cuckoo, for example, slips away from Europe each summer, bound for Africa. It does not migrate in groups, no guiding flocks, no mentors. Alone it navigates across deserts and seas to return to the very tree where it hatched. And all the while, it practices a deception. Before it left, it placed its egg in another bird's nest, tricking the unsuspecting foster parents into raising its chick. While the cuckoo roams free, its offspring is cared for by strangers, ensuring the lineage survives while the wanderer wanders. Yet these marvels are also fraught with danger. Migration is a gamble against storms, predators, hunger, and exhaustion. The great wildebeest herds of Africa may dominate the land, but in the skies, raptors shadow the flocks, waiting for weakness. In the oceans below, fishes strike as exhausted birds skim the waves. Even human inventions, glass skyscrapers, power lines, lights burning through the night have become obstacles in these ancient aerial highways. A single storm can scatter millions, and each year countless birds vanish, victims of the journey that once defined their ancestors. Still, for every tragedy there is resilience. In Israel, each spring and autumn, the sky itself darkens as hundreds of thousands of storks and pelicans funnel through a narrow passage between continents. They spiral upward on warm currents, wings outstretched like a river flowing against gravity. To witness it is to see the Earth's pulse, a reminder that migration is not chaos but choreography, an ancient dance written into the planet's rhythms. And perhaps the greatest marvel is not their endurance, but their guidance system. How do they know where to go? Scientists have found that birds can read the stars, feel the Earth's magnetic fields, and even sense polarized light invisible to the human eye. Some appear to carry a mental map of landscapes they have never seen, while others learn routes through memory passed across generations. The secrets of their navigation remain partly unsolved, a mystery of nature that humbles even the most advanced GPS. For millennia, humans have watched these winged wanderers and drawn inspiration. Ancient Egyptians carved geese into their tombs. Polynesian sailors studied the flights of seabirds to find new islands. Even today we look up and marvel, sensing in their journeys something we have lost: the primal rhythm of seasons, the unyielding call of survival, the courage to risk everything for the promise of return. So, the next time you glimpse a V-shaped flock etched against the sunset, know that you are witnessing one of the oldest stories on Earth. A story older than cities, older than kings, older even than humanity itself. A story written not in books, but in feathers, in wings, in the invisible highways across the skies. The migrants are still flying, still wandering, still reminding us that the Earth is vast, the seasons are eternal, and that the smallest of creatures can carry within them the greatest of journeys. And perhaps as we look up, the real question is not how these birds find their way. The question is, in a world that changes so fast, will we let their